Hello and welcome to the number 9 gameplay video, which will be showing you the Unhallowed Essence set for Demon Hunter. The reason we're doing this video is because we're stuck at Season Journey Conqueror, and we basically need to complete 2 more conquests. For that we have picked, let's see, Season Conquests, something which is really easy. So you want to do GR55 solo with 6 sets and master 8 set dungeons. So far I've mastered 4 set dungeons on Barbarian, and I'll be focusing on the Demon Hunter next. In order to do that, you will need the 4 sets, which are Natalia's Marauder, the Shadow's Mantle, and of course what we're using, the Unhallowed Essence. Now this is one of my favorite builds so far. Its only downside is that it needs specific weapon, chest and offhand rolls, and I'll show you the rolls in a moment. And another very big disadvantage is that you need to be far away from mobs when you hit them with multi-shot. And as you know, there are certain kinds of mobs which basically just charge at your neck and destroy you. So you need a tank. But I'll be showing you GR55 without having a follower or another player which can stun the mobs for you or something like that. So we won't be using the followers for this video. The specific build, so you need the 6 pieces of Unhallowed. We'll start with the boots. You need multi-shot damage, dexterity, vitality, and armor roll resistance. For the pants, again, dexterity, vitality, all resistance, 2 sockets. The chest, this is very important, dex, vit, all resist, and the secondary plus 12 maximum discipline. For the helm, dex, vit, some kind of a resistance, and a socket, which we'll be using with the diamond for reduced cooldowns of all skills. Shoulders, dex, vit, all resist, and reduce cooldown by 8%. Gloves, dex, vit, critical hit damage, reduce cooldown by 8%. Focus and restraint, which will be dex, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, socket for both of them. Bane of the trapped and Bane of the stricken, or Bane of the powerful here instead of stricken if you're doing speed runs. Hellfire amulet, dexterity, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, socket, and preferably, let's say, ambush or steady aim passive, but I'm gonna show you the passive right in a moment. For survivability, you will be using Wraps of Clarity, Dex, Vit, all resist, critical hit chance, and your hatred generators reduce your damage taken. So, like that. You see here, Wraps of Clarity, toughness went to 61 million. The belt, of course, Witching Hour. If you can get a drop of Witching Hour at any given point, I recommend you save it and then just reforge it until it has decent stats. Mine doesn't really have decent stats, so dex, vit, attack speed, and a very low critical hit damage, but I'm still using it because it's a bonus to my overall damage. Dead Man's Legacy, the quiver. Dex, vit, attack speed, critical hit chance, reduce cooldown of all skills, very important, 8%. Increase multi-shot damage, this is basis. Higher is better, of course, and very important here as well, secondary, plus 12 maximum discipline. And its power, multi-shot hits enemies below a certain threshold of health twice. And for the weapon, this is exactly the stats you need, but ancient. I haven't been able to get this ancient on this season. I've wasted something like 800 Forgotten Souls so far, which is impeding my capability of showing you the other builds on a very tight schedule, let's say. So I have to delay the other sets, mostly because I've run out of mats trying to make this be ancient and show you GR70. But let's get back to the Yang's recurve. So you're gonna need 10% damage, max dexterity, max vitality, reduce all resource cost. This is basically 50% maximum, but it's still a nice roll. 12 maximum discipline, again, and of course a socket that you will be putting with Ramaladni's gift. Now, why do you need 12 max discipline on armor, on weapon, and on the quiver? Because you want to reach this sweet spot of 86 discipline. Because the set, as you see, your generators, multi-shot, and vengeance deal 40% increased damage for every point of discipline you have. So 86 discipline is the maximum you can have given this setup, and you should really try to reach it in order to be effective in higher, greater rifts. Very important is to pass the 37.5 or something like that cooldown reduction threshold from Paragon points, from the gem, and from the items I've already listed. So gloves, shoulders, and quiver. 8% on all of those, plus the 12.5 from the helm, plus cooldown reduction from offense, 10%, should pass 37.6 or something like that threshold. What does this mean is that you can keep vengeance up forever. So right as vengeance expires, you will see that the character will not turn back to normal armor. Well, effects will remain this dark color. And now if you just spam it, see, we haven't actually left vengeance, and the toughness is still at 80 million. Combine it with left clicking from the wraps of clarity and the evasive fire, we get to 122 million toughness, which is nice. It's not the 1 billion plus toughness we can have on a barbarian, but you will be relying on other people's stuns and crowd control, so you can deliver fatal damage. Okay, so this was the gear. Now let's talk about skills. Evasive fire, which I recommend using the hardened rune. So basically, if you manage to hit something with evasive fire, your armor will increase by 25%, which is very nice. Multi-shot with wind chill. Why? Because you slow the enemies and they can take 8% increased critical hit chance for 3 seconds after you hit them. So more crits on them, they die even faster. For a cooldown here, Wolf Companion, this is like mandatory in almost all the Demon Hunters build, both for utility and increasing your own damage. So 15% increased damage on call. Vault with Tumble. Why? Because if nobody tanks for you, you will be vaulting like mad, and you want to keep this discipline as high as possible. So you can vault a few times, and then when you left click a few times, you generate it very fast. Vengeance with Seath Rune, because you need that hatred regen. What you want to do with this build is spam multi-shot like mad. And preparation with the invigoration passive. Why? To get an extra 20 discipline to reach this 86. Great. Now for the passive, steady aim, because we have ambush on the Hellfire Amulet. Call of the Week, the first hit on the enemies, they get slowed. The second hit, they will get 20% increased damage. Tactical advantage, this is just for mobility. As soon as you vault, you will be moving a hell of a lot faster. And this is what I use mainly for speed runs. This is Blood Vengeance, of course. The faster you kill the mobs, the more head globes you get, the more multi-shots you can do. If you want to progress, I recommend swapping this with Awareness. Basically cheat death. You will be needing this a lot. So this is the passive we have right now on the amulet, and we don't need to select it anymore. And this is for, like I've said, progression runs where you need to stay alive. Alright, and now for the cube. To actually make this build work, you'll be needing Dawn, reduce cooldown of Vengeance by 65%, coupled with the cooldown reduction like I've shown you, Infinite Vengeance. Vengeance gains the effect of Dark Heart Rune, so Visage of Gunes, or whatever that's called. Why? Because when you activate Vengeance, you get toughness, 35% reduced damage taken, and you need it. And for the ring, too good to pass up the Convention of the Elements. Now you stack Convention with the cooldown on Wolf Companion. Make sure you have Focus and Restraint stacks up right here, and just deliver incredible amount of damage. The most I've gotten with my stats right here is a crit worth of 60 million, 60 billion, whatever. So it's like 60 something like that. Oh wow, can't type. Say. Nope, can't do that. But you get the idea. 60 million toughness. With 60 million damage, sorry. Okay. So this is basically it. This is one of my favorite builds on Demon Hunter, at least, because it's easy to set up and very fast to unlock Torment 13 and Primal Ancients, of course, to do GR70 with it. One of the most challenging parts of the build is basically getting this sweet weapon in ancient form, and the quiver and the chest with 12 maximum discipline as a secondary. This is the hardest part to attain. If you play again and again and again, you'll get the materials, you will reforge, you can get the other items rolled. But this is the most challenging part of the build. If you can't do it, I recommend you stick with the non-ancient variants of them, so you can still be very, very effective. And now I'm gonna show you GR. Okay, last I did 70. Let's do a GR55. And actually, let's swap Bane of the Stricken with Bane of the Powerful, so we can do a real speed clear right here. Of course, Stricken is better in higher greater rifts, but since we're gonna do a speed run on 55, just so you can unlock this Years of War. So you want to do the Unhallowed Essence part, GR55 solo for the Conquest on this season. And possibly other upcoming seasons, we don't know. Should we empower it? Why not? We have enough money. Let's go! So right off the bat, we start. First pack of mobs we meet, Vengeance, and just clear them. So we have an elite pack right here. The farther you are away from them, see, the more damage you will be doing because of Zane's Stone of Vengeance. As soon as Vengeance pops off, make sure you activate it again. Too bad we got a really shit map layout. There we go. So this will be pretty fast. As you can see, pretty high crits. If you can manage to stack the Convention of the Elements with this, it will be even better. Sadly, playing alone means a lot of these little pesky mobs will be near you, and you won't be doing quite maximum damage, but that's okay. Skip that little bastard. Of course, you want to keep the Wolf Companion mainly for elites, but we won't be having issues with the elites, so I'll just probably pop it on cooldown so that everything dies very, very fast. Okay, next map. Maybe this will be better. One thing that you will need to be very careful of is these explosions and the general damage. You won't be able to face tank it, like, no matter how hard you try. At least with the skills we've chosen, you won't be able to do that. So make sure you don't stand in bad things, or else you're gonna suffer quite a bit. The nice part about this build is that it can basically clear the whole map. It's very good for doing Torment 10 speed clears, let's say for bounties and stuff like that. Even in 4 players, you can still one-shot the mobs, just clear the maps like this. Another place where it actually shines is higher greater rifts, when you have a monk and a barbarian stacking them up nicely, and your job is to stay as far away as possible and just mindlessly grind them to a halt. You can see, if you haven't played Demon Hunter so far, this is one of the builds I really recommend unlocking and playing Torment 13 on public games, because it's way too fun and easy. You don't need a build-up time for stacks or something like that. Nope, you just drop in, pop cooldowns, and make sure you keep those cooldowns up all the time, and everything just dies in front of you. So compared to, let's say, Marauders, where you need to manage those sentries, this is actually a lot easier to do and play. You can also do some mistakes and it will be alright. Now, where's that little boss? Just ignore the bad stuff, pop cooldowns. And now, Frost. There we go. As soon as we get the Convention of the Elements on Frost damage, stuff just melts. Let's see if we can get something upgraded. Probably not. Yep, 0%. Let's try to do a Discogok of Swiftness. It's the highest we do have. Now, if this was something that you enjoyed, the next steps would be to grind all these items with the roles I've described in ancient form. Mainly the weapon, like this will give you the most benefit of damage. And once they're in the ancient form, you would want to upgrade them by using the cube. Of course, you'll go to augment ancient item, put a 50+ rank gem, because you will be able to effectively solo farm this. 3 flawless royal emeralds, and just get this dexterity up and going over 10,000. Preferably something like 12,000 and stuff like that. So this was it. My favorite build from the Demon Hunter counterparts. Oh, here we go. Ancient Marauders. We'll be keeping that for later, that's sure. And a Dead Man's Legacy with higher multi-shot, reduce cooldown by 6%, and hatred regen. Sadly, it only has 10 maximum discipline, and we're lacking vitality. So these will be your average rolls for Dead Man's Legacy. You will want to have Dex and Vit. You're already squishy, you're a glass cannon mainly. If you can think you can live without the vitality, at least have the 12 maximum discipline on the secondary, at least. And of course, as much multi-shot damage rolls and critical hit chance, dexterity, and reduced cooldowns. Of course, still maxed out as much as possible. So there you go. Once you've done this, Greater GR55, it's off to doing the mastery of the set dungeon. for the Unhallowed Essence right here. I haven't yet done it. I've almost got it today. The main issue is really getting 20 mobs stacked together so you can hit them with multi-shot. The other requirement is to never drop below 50% discipline, but if you use preparation, even if you vault like mad, so let's say you do a lot of vaults with tumble, which I've shown you, although these aren't required, you can just pop preparation and boom, max discipline, and you're ready to go. So that should be no issue. The main problem would be to get those pesky packs of 20 in one shot. So just try until you succeed, and everything should be fine. So hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back later with other builds to complete this season's journey, and maybe even back to the barbarian grinding. I would still want to show you, if you've been following us, the leaderboards are actually pretty close. Let's say select hero, start game. I don't know if I can view leaderboards from here. So the highest is 77. I've only done solo 70. For 2 players we've done still 70. 3 players 70. And 4 players, because this is what actually we've been doing, 83. Sadly, in order to reach the leaderboard spot, we need to break over 100. But still, the Leapquake Barbarian, we managed to do 83. Mandatory to have this build up and running are monks with mantras of Inas, a wizard, Archon Wizard, a Demon Hunter for the extra damage, and you, the Barbarian, which will be stunning all the possible mobs that have ever existed. So yeah, this was it for the Unhallowed Essence mini guide and showcase. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.